Hey guys, I'm back for part 2 of my Ligura tutorial. I know you guys have been waiting, so thank you for that. I'm going to show you how I start off the pattern here. So I'm on page 2, and I'm really going to start where it says Begin Brioche Ligura Pattern. So that is where I'm starting. Before I do that though, I like to create a little grid that I keep with my pattern to help me keep track of my repeats, where I left off. And if you actually look at my real pattern here, you can see I've done it there, I've done it here. Not the prettiest thing. I'll show you how to do that. So just get a paper and pen, or you can do it right on the back of the pattern. That's what I've done in the past. You're going to draw a little table. Nothing fancy, okay? So start with a square. And then you're going to draw a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Now it just depends on if you want a slouchy one or not, of how many times you're going to repeat this. And then you're going to do, so in the pattern you're going to have 3, 2, 1, and 0. So you're going to do 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 0. And you're going to do that throughout. 0, 3, 2, 1, 0, 3, 2, 1, 0. And then you're going to have all of these can be a line going across. You certainly don't have to do this, but like I say, I'm very busy. If I put something down, I got multiple whips. You know, I need to know where I left off. And I never ever leave off in the middle of a row, which I'm sure you guys would agree with. Okay, so now up here on the top, you're gonna do one for, I was calling it increase, but it's not really an increase, so I'm just gonna do a star. Then you're gonna have a P, you're gonna have a K, and then you're gonna have a P. And then from here, you're just gonna make dividers going down this way. Okay, so we're gonna start off, like I said, page 2, where it says Begin Brioche Ligura Pattern. And if you read it, it says brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over 3 times. So that's the 3 right here. So do that 3 times, and then you're going to have your brioche right side decrease. You're gonna slip 1 yarn over, brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over, and then you're gonna do that bark, yarn over bark, and then slip 1 yarn over. So I'll show you that. And then, so that's the special one here. And then after you do that, the next round is just a regular purling, you know, slip 1 yarn over, brioche purl round. Then you have your regular brioche knit round, and then you have your regular brioche purl round. And then you start over with the special row that I'm going to show you right now. Okay? So basically, this is my way of keeping track. Now, when you get to the bottom here, you can actually add on another one of these for the decrease of the hat. The decrease of the hat would be the same You could put like a D for decrease and then 3, 2, 1, 0. You're basically just, you're gonna keep the right side decrease, but you're not gonna do the bark, yarn over bark. So it's really easy on the decrease. You're just omitting the increase, so you're actually making the hat smaller, but that's for later. So this is how I do my grid, and I don't cross off. So once I complete the first row, I will just put an X there that I'm done with it. And then the next time I pick up my work, I'm like, okay, I need to start here. And that really, really helps me keep track of where I am and also how much further I have to go. And I just really like it. All right, so I'm going to show you how to start this off. So the 3, where the 3 comes in, is the first brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over 3 times. Okay, so how I do that is I knit, and every time I knit, I count as 1. So I knit, this is 1, slip 1, yarn over, I knit, this is 2, slip 1 yarn over, I knit, this is 3, slip 1, yarn over. So that's the 3 on the grid. Okay, now we're going to do the right side brioche, right side decrease. So what you're going to do is you're going to come to this. You would normally knit it, so insert your needle to knit it. But instead of knitting it, we're going to slip it right off. Okay? So we have slipped that one. Now, the next one, you're actually going to knit. So put that in there to knit it. This is still creating that yarn over for this stitch here, so it's kind of a long stretch, but it is the yarn over, so you're going to knit that. All right, now you're going to take the 2 that you slipped and you're going to pass it over, and you're going to have 1 left on the needle. From here, you're going to take this and you're going to put it back on the left-hand needle. And you're going to take this one and you're going to slip it over that one there. All right, and then you can kind of push that down, that's fine. From here, put it back on the right needle and you're done. Now that was fast. At first, it's really complicated. I suggest typing in BRRSLDEC in YouTube and searching it. There's tons of good videos on how to do it. Search it up every time you come to that and look at it. Make sure you know what you're doing when you come to that in your pattern. There's no harm in that. So look it up and then complete that. So once you're done with that, you're gonna do, you have to do your slip 1 yarn over. So yarn in the front, slip 1, you're going to knit, and then you're going to bring the yarn forward and slip 1, and that's going to set you up for the BRK, yarn over BRK. So in between the decrease and the BRK, it's always slip 1 yarn over, knit, slip 1 yarn over. So you can kind of keep that in your head. There's always 1 slip 1 yarn over, knit, slip 1 yarn over in between those 2 kind of funky stitches that we're doing on this special round. Okay, now we're at the BRK, yarn over BRK. So what you're going to do is you're going to come in here like to knit. It's always on a knit, brioche knit stitch that you're going to do this. Put into knit. Okay, you're going to knit that stitch, but instead of taking it off the needle, I always bring my right needle to the back, and I'm going to yarn forward, And then I'm going to insert back into that same stitch and knit another stitch. So when you're done with this, and then you're going to pull it off. When you're done with this, you're going to have 3 individual stitches on the needle, and that's your increase. And then you're going to finish out what the pattern says. So in this case, we've done 3 at the beginning. Then at the end, there really isn't anything you need to do except for that slip 1 and then the yarn over. Now, when you're done with this section, you're going to want to place a stitch marker. Place a stitch marker that's a different color than the one at the beginning of the row. So you can see on my work, this is the beginning of my row. I did one repeat earlier before I started this video, place that blue, and now I did another repeat, place the blue. So every time I do that, I'm placing a stitch marker. It doesn't say to do that in the pattern, but I feel that it's helpful to keep track of where I am. So I like to do that. So now you're going to do the same thing until the end of the row. So you're going to, do your brioche knit 3 times. So you're going to do 1, bring to the front, 2, bring to the front, slip, and 3, bring to the front and slip. Now you're ready for that right side decrease again. So you're going to go into it as if to knit it. You're going to slip it right off. Then you're going to go into this next one. You're going to knit it, creating that yarn over right here. You knit that. Now, you take the slipped ones and you slip them over this one, which leaves 1 on the needle. Then you bring it back, and then you're going to take this one, you're going to bring it over this. You can kind of pull that down, which is kind of cool, and then you're going to bring that over. So that's the right side decrease. Now, you're going to bring the yarn in front, slip, you're going to knit, you're going to slip. Now you're ready for the BRK, yarn over BRK. So this one is always done on the knit. Okay, so you're going to have 2 here. Put your needle in as if to knit it, and you're creating that yarn over here. You're going to knit, but you're not going to bring it off the needle. I always bring my right needle to the back, and then I do the yarn over, and then I kind of bring it to the front again to knit another stitch again, and this time you slip it off. So when you look at it, you have 3 stitches from that BRK, yarn over BRK. This is the increase. It gives you the extra stitch there. And then you're just going to bring it forward, and you're going to do the slip. And then you place your your stitch marker. All right, so then you just keep repeating that until you get to your beginning. So you're on your 3, okay? So let me bring this grid over here. This is where that 3 comes in, because you're doing 3 brioche knits before you start the right side decrease, okay? On the next row, you're going to do 2 brioche knits before you start the right side decrease. And what that does, when you are on the 3 at the very end after the BRK, yarn over BRK, you have 1 yarn over slip that you're doing. But when you go to the 2, when you're on the 2, when you start with 2 up front, that's how I keep track of it, you're actually going to have more, you know, an actual BRK after the BRK yarn over BRK. I don't know if that's really going to make sense. It will once you start going on the line 2, because if you only have 2 up front, so like if we look at this, if you only have 2 knit up front, you're actually going to have more to do at the end here for the knitting. You're not just going to yarn over and slip one. You're actually going to have to brioche knit at the back end. Okay, so that's just an adjustment, but this is the way that I keep track of it up front, is I know I have to do the 3 brioche knits in the beginning, 2 brioche knits, you know, at the beginning, and then 1, and then eventually none. You just start right in with the decrease. So hopefully that is helping you guys. I can show it to you one more time here, but basically that's what you're doing for the bulk of this hat, is you just keep doing that over and over. When you are done with the special round, you're going to purl, and I can show you that because it's a little bit different when you come to that BRK with the 3 stitches here and you're doing that purl. It's going to look a little weird and different, so I will show you that when I get to it. But basically you're brioche purling, you're brioche knitting and brioche purling, and then you're starting that all over again. Okay, so to show you one more time, you're going to knit 1, slip 1 yarn over, 2, slip 1 yarn over, 3, slip 1 yarn over. So 3 complete, slip 1, you know, brioche knit, slip 1 yarn over, and then you're going to start your right decrease. So for here, it's like you're going to knit it, but you're not. You're going to just slip it over. You're going to knit the next stitch, which then creates that yarn over on this one, so it's kind of a far stretch where you're just going to knit that one. You're going to take the 2 that you slipped and pass it over the one you just knit. You're going to take this one you just knit, put it back on the left-hand needle, and then you take a break. No, I'm just kidding. And then you take these 2 here, you slip it over, and then you can kind of push this down. It's kind of cool. Makes a bigger loop. And then you just pass this back over. And then you can kind of tighten it up a little bit. And then there's always a slip 1 yarn over, knit, slip 1 yarn over in between that right side decrease and the BRK yarn over BRK. So it's just an easy way to keep track of. So now we're on the decrease BRK yarn over BRK. This is the knit one that you would always start. So if you think you're on a BRK but you're on a slip one, you know you're not right. So you always have to do it with these 2. So you're going to come in here, you're going to knit this one, but you're not going to slip it off the needle. I drop my right needle to the back, do a yarn over, and you're going to knit another into the same stitch. And then this one you're going to pull it off. So if you look back there, there's 3 stitches on the needle. That's your increase. And then since we're on the 3 at the front, we only have to do this here. Slip 1 yarn over. But I'm going to place another stitch marker because this is the end of my repeat, and I like to keep track of this. So now we just go at it again. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm on my decrease. So I'm going to do it as if I were to knit. That's important. Slip it off as if to knit. Knit the next stitch, which creates this yarn over here. It's like a bigger jump, but that is okay. You knit that one. Take the 2 that you slipped and you're going to pass it over the stitch you just knit. Okay, and you kind of stretch right here. Then you slip this one back onto the left needle, and then you're going to take this one here and you're going to pass it over. Kind of pull down on that and take this and slip it over to the right needle and then kind of pull on it tight. And now in between that decrease, there's a slip 1 yarn over, knit, slip 1 yarn over, and then here you would do your BRK yarn over, BRK. So I'm going to insert as if to knit. I'm going to knit this one. Instead of pulling it off, I'm dropping my right needle to the back. I'm doing a yarn over, and I'm coming forward to knit it and pull it off. This creates 3 stitches on the needle and your increase. And then since this is the 3, we only have to slip 1 and we're done. So now I'm at the beginning of my round. Switch my stitch marker, pick up my pearl color. Bear with me here, I got my yarns crossed again. Notorious for doing that. All right, you're gonna have your yarn forward and you're gonna go slip 1, yarn over, brioche pearl. 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 Excuse me. Okay, so now I want to show you guys what we do when we come to that increase, because you have these 3 stitches here, and I just did a purl. So now I'm going to insert, and I'm just gonna slip 1, yarn over, and then this middle one, I'm just gonna purl it. It's a standalone purl. I guess that's the really only difference here. You're gonna purl it. If you look back on your 3-stitch bundle, that fits in, you know, perfectly with what you're doing. Purling, slip 1 yarn over, purling, slip 1 yarn over, purling. So the middle of the 3 is just a straight up purl. There's really not a bundle to go with that one. And then you're gonna slip 1 yarn over, brioche pearl. And then slip your marker and just keep going around. That's all you really need to do. The markers are gonna come in handy then when you start your repeat on the 2 line here. So the markers come in handy when you're here on the 2, because then you know, okay, I just have to, you know, knit the first 2 completely, do my decrease, slip 1, you know, yarn over, knit, slip 1 yarn over, knit, do my bark yarn over bark, and then what is ever left, you just keep going with the regular brioche knitting on the back side. And then you know when you get to the marker, you're starting over with the 2 in the front. So I hope that makes sense. This is how I do it. I enjoy this pattern. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. But hopefully with this instruction and this grid, you guys can complete this hat. So people have wanted to see some of the other hats I've done. This is the first one that I've shown, obviously, before. I haven't let anyone in my family wear it yet. I made this one also. This one has more of the repeats. It's a little bit more slouchier. It's kind of neat. And then this is the one that I was starting, or I completed in the video number 1. With the white on the inside. So I also have a yellow one, but that's actually being worn by one of my kids right now. So good luck, everyone. Hopefully you can complete the pattern with my instruction. Give me a like or subscribe if you like these videos. And leave any comments. If you want to tag me on Instagram with your completed hat, I'm at SJSTOKKE. Thanks, guys. Bye.